Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome to Last Call, where the milk is blue because green is for bad fan fiction. Tonight we are going back to a long time ago in a childhood far, far away. 46 years ago to be exact, as we celebrate the real Star Wars Day, which was yesterday. But today is Friday, and most of us don't have to work tomorrow, and you know how all that works.
That's not how the Force works.
So top off your glasses and strap in. We're going to make the jump to light speed right after this message. What is a bigger part of a forceful breakfast than cool, fresh, blue bantha milk? And what better way to start your weekend than dark blue milk cooler from Sid's Parlor in Ord Mantell City? Relax, hydrate, and enjoy dark blue milk cooler with friends. It may not be your only hope, but it's not a bad one. Hey, happy Friday. Welcome to the stream. Vasalud, and may the force be with you. I wasn't joking about that blue bantha milk. That's what I'm sipping on tonight. Let me start bringing in my companions for the night. My favorite companion, Netter of Netter's Network. How you doing, sweetie? What you sipping on?
I'm doing fantastic now that the week is over.
Right.
And I'm also drinking this strange blue concoction, which has alcohol in it, so it's not really milk.
How does it taste?
Oh, I haven't tasted that. Let me taste it. It tastes blue.
It tastes blue.
And coconutty.
It's very coconutty. Yeah, I really do like this. It ought to be a really fun stream. And let's get Greedo in here. How you doing, Agent Boomer, and what you sipping on?
I'm doing all right. I have water at the moment, but a family member will be bringing me in an orange high C from McDonald's, but I probably should have gotten the blue raspberry frozen Fanta instead.
There you go.
I didn't think about that, but anyway.
Right. Fair.
But
awesome.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I know you've been struggling with the whole... still recuperating from the hurricane last season.
I'll laugh about it in 10 years when the house is fixed. I'm sorry, wait a minute. No, I'm kidding.
I know, right? It seems like
everything's
that.
fine. How is everybody, though? Yeah, but I'm doing fine.
Good. And we have a very special guest. It's his birthday, so everybody wish him the happiest of birthday. Al Baca, how you doing, buddy, and what you sipping on?
Hello, I am doing well, and I have my Diet Mountain Dew already. Green, not blue.
Green, but they do they still make blue Mountain Dew? They used to.
They make all kinds of colors now.
I know they still have the blue because my former brother-in-law buys Mountain Dew like it's gone out of style, and he's always posting the ones he's picked up that week.
There you go.
They have one that's it's reminiscent of the Bomb Pops. It's like a special new one, and it's purple.
Interesting. So how has your birthday been so far today? Did you do anything special besides the stream earlier?
No, I just sat around, relaxed today. I did order in some Chinese food for a little treat for myself, and I did order some donuts for myself as a treat.
I've been kind of craving some, specifically Dunkin' Donuts. I really want to, maybe this weekend I'll get out and get some. But, that's the kind of thing you got to get up and get them in the morning, Because, I don't know, I think of donuts as a breakfast thing to me. That's how I think of it. But
I'm gonna do them tomorrow. I did get some, generic ho-hos. The Swiss rolls.
Sure.
kind of as a sweet to have. It's something I don't normally get. So just treating myself today a little bit.
That's absolutely fair. Let's say hi to the chat. First up was PJ of Orville Nation. Not sure if he's still here, but it's always an honor and a privilege to see him in the chat. Welcome, PJ. And Lynn Green, who says, hi, Troy. I've got 9 live streams I'm trying to juggle tonight. So I'll just say hi for now, and I'll catch this later. I only have a fan edit on DVD, but I've seen the movie so many times, I'm sure I can listen to you and follow along without actually watching the movie. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. And the chairman, evening, everyone. Evening, chairman. So glad to see you. Super appreciate you coming by. And Deleted Scenes, who's weaning himself off of his lifelong Star Wars addiction. Definitely check out his video from earlier in the week where he was talking about walking away. Hashtag walking. Well, no, don't hashtag walking away. That's a whole different ball of wax. But he meant it specifically related to Star Wars, and it's a good video. He makes some excellent points there. But he is still here doing the Blue Wrench thing because he's a masochist. I mean, he is incredibly loyal, and I super appreciate him so much.
Yeah, he joined me for a good amount of my stream tonight. Thanks to Deleted Scenes for that.
He is awesome, absolutely. And of course, Jedi Bill, who is also has a channel that if you're not subscribed to him, why? His streams are so much fun. He does the karaoke and rewatches like this and stuff like that. He's awesome. So definitely check out his channel when you get a chance. That brings us to the birthday boy. Yes, you remember the opening scroll exactly.
What?
David Pensack, 46 years just yesterday. Yeah, that the Force has been with us. Here's to us all. Absolutely. I agree 100%.
That's when they made things good.
Yes. It's getting harder and harder to find that kind of quality, right? Last call with Troy Pacelli. Hello, love of my life. Hello, Natter. I said hi to you earlier. And let's see. Good evening. Sir Torrin Clegane was on with me just a couple of weeks ago. We were talking... or was it maybe just last week? When did I do chess? Was that last week?
Chess.
No,
last week. No.
But he wasn't here for chess. He was here for the previous musical that I was. I'm starting to do all these musicals. I'm going to start becoming the Broadway channel on YouTube. And Evelyn Hampton is saying happy birthday to Big Al.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Yes. She will be joining you for Reptilicus this summer.
July 15th.
Ooh.
There's an aged boomer on a tractor there. Welcome.
Well, I'm Greedo right now, though.
Yes. Bloodlow, if it's the holiday special. I kid you not. The Rhodian in the holiday special was named Bloodlow.
They all look alike to me. Oh,
you racist Jew! Right? Or is that? I was gonna say, are you an alienist? But that means something entirely different.
Specious, I don't know, specious.
Connie Cleary, hello chat. I guess I made Orville Nation laugh. I don't know what I said, but good. But he's also wishing you. I thought those were birthday cakes. Either that, or he's just telling us what he's sipping on. Let's see here. Pat S. Hail Deleted Scenes. I know where to find you on Fridays now. Yeah, he gets around, though. He might actually be doing like 3 other streams at the moment. And I don't know how he does it. I just don't know. Hi, folks. Just stopping to leave a like. Thanks so much. Appreciate it if you shared out the stream, too. You are awesome. Soundtracks with Birdman, Daniel Heron. I've heard of that movie. I heard there's some pretty good music in this movie, too. Maybe. I mean, you'd know better than I would assume.
Best Sherry Goldsmith score, I think, this movie. Oh, wait.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I just lost a subscriber now. Thanks a lot, man. Alan Chapman. I'm sorry, Elaine Chapman. How you doing? Good to see you. Haven't seen you around before, but I hope that I earn a subscription from you today. I hope you enjoy watching with us. So I think I'm caught up. If I missed you, by all means, please...
say hi to JPRPH1?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I didn't hear
and by all means, drop a hello or whatever. Let me know what you're sipping on, if you are sipping on anything. We're looking at a 2-hour movie, so you might want to get something to drink. But... yeah, so this is how it works for all the new faces around here. Yes, so she is new. So it's not just you that, and am I pronouncing it? Let's see. Elena. That should be Elena, right? Elena Chapman? Am I pronouncing
or
that
Elena.
correctly?
It could be either.
I tend to go with a Latin pronunciation, being Italian, but I could be wrong. So by all means, correct me if I'm wrong. But for Elena and anyone else who's new to the channel for a rewatch, you will notice that pinned to the top of the chat up there is a Cosme link. I will be streaming this movie because this particular version of Star Wars, you know, this obscure sci-fi film that you may or may not have ever even heard of. I am streaming a very specific version. This is the original theatrical trailer.
As long as it's not the holiday special.
It's not the holiday special. That will be in November, so join us on November 17th for that.
You got fair warning.
You got fair warning. You could be anywhere else if you so choose.
It gets better each time you watch it.
I like to think so,
It
absolutely.
helps if you're drunk.
It does.
Yeah, I mean,
but then again, I could say that about everything about, you know, the Friday night stream. So, you know, Pacific 414 sipping on water. And that's fine. I happen to like getting blotto on Friday night. And you guys seem to enjoy watching me get blotto. So there we go. That's how we have fun.
And it's only once a week, so I let them.
Oh, we have another paisano in the chat. That's wonderful. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I'm assuming then married name because I don't see a vowel at the end of that name there, girl. But fair enough. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, I may have to do... I don't want to have to wait until St. Joseph's Day next year. I should just think of a good day and do an Italian-themed stream. Maybe get Cannoli Sasquatch back and whatnot.
Pick any Friday. Any Friday is a good time.
I could... yeah, that's right. It's my channel. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Get all the paisans in.
That's right. Absolutely. So anyway... So yeah, when we get ready to get started, I will point you to that link again. Go ahead, open up the Cosme, you know, like right click on it so that you can still hear us and whatnot. Or don't. I mean, if you don't give a crap about us, you know, just leave and watch the movie. You can do that.
Or you mute the stream and watch the film, so you still hear.
So yeah, exactly. But this way you can watch the original theatrical trailer. Most people, especially if they have DVDs, have the special edition or the special edition or the new and improved special edition or the THX version or whatever. This is the original theatrical theatrical release. So yeah, and Pat S is saying really likes Cosme. In fact, you know who turned me on to Cosme? The reason I am able to do this, and the reason I am able to host the movie for Netters Network's Retro Cinema and Big Al presents Films with Friends on Saturday nights, is because Jedi Bill told me about Cosme. So that's why I'm able to do that.
Hi, Leia Rose.
I was just getting to say hi to Leia Rose. Welcome. I really like that icon. That is a very good icon. And I just saw a video, and I'm forgetting the channel. maybe someone in the chat knows this YouTuber. They do kind of like Star Wars what ifs, and he goes through a narrative telling the story of what if, and in this particular one, it was a part 2 of what if Princess Leia had gone with Luke to Dagobah and been trained by Yoda with him. Very interesting take on how the story would have been different. Not terribly different from what happens in the rest of Empire and Jedi, but what happens after that is very, very different. At least in this YouTuber's opinion.
Okay,
But,
YouTube apparently hates me because it's not letting me say hi, sweeties, to the newest people that came in. It keeps giving me error messages and it's giving me from other ones, so...
I've been hearing about some issues with people with related to
I just
chats.
tried saying hi to Leia Rose with my hi, sweetie 4 times and it keeps giving me an error. So,
You know what? I got
hi
one.
to my sweeties.
I had the same problem literally when I sent that message when I said something to Big Al, and was telling him, was inviting him into the chat. There's no way you would have seen it. It was pretty seamless. I did it again, and obviously you got it. But
Yeah,
Now, this is weird.
I typed.
let-
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And let me say hi to Chris Benavides?
let's bring that up. That's Chris Benavides, I believe, is how it would be pronounced.
Okay, so you pronounce things better than me.
Although, by all means, please correct me if I get anyone's name mispronounced.
For whatever reason, it will not let me say hello to Leia Rose, but it lets me say hello to everyone else.
And what you were experiencing that too, Al?
Yeah, I typed when you asked, and I was like, "Oh, sure," and I typed "sure," and when I hit enter, it was like very light. It looked weird.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Here's
well,
what
I'll do
happens.
it again,
This
you
is
know?
what Netter's seeing. You get a red error message very briefly that says you can't chat or something like that, and then your thing shows like muted out, and it should say like didn't send or something like that.
No, I still get underneath my message. It'll have an X and says it says error.
Oh, anyway, so if this had happened to me on any other stream, I'd be like, am I blocked from being able to,
Yeah,
post
everyone's
on their
saying she's got
chats?
the same error.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with YouTube tonight.
Finally, let me say hi to Leia Rose.
It's definitely
That's my
not
happy.
me. I haven't blocked anyone from my channel or anything like that. Like I said, I had the exact same problem trying to chat, but I have the benefit, as does everyone in the panel. We can just say hi to you guys because we're on mic. Netter's drink just went down wrong, so she'll be back momentarily.
Milk is trying to kill me.
Yeah, no, I don't care what you're drinking, don't inhale it. It is not meant to be breathed. Well, unless you're, an aquatic creature and that's what you breathe. I mean, in that
Is it
case.
still
Like a
lactose intolerance if it's blue milk?
You know what? That's an interesting point. After my last blue milk stream, like was it last year or the year before? Somebody asked me, I'm do you have a lactose intolerant version? I'm like, this version is just fine for you. It's I wrote down the recipe just in case anyone else wants to have a blue milk.
So mark the spot on the stream so you can come back to it later.
Yes, we are. However far into the stream that we are.
Is it telling me?
I don't know. Let's see. We're about 19. We're 20 minutes in, almost exactly 20 minutes. So it's 2 ounces of rum chata, 1 ounce coconut rum, 1 ounce. Oh, I forgot the pineapple juice. Oh well. So tonight's drink for me and Netter is 2 ounces of rum chata, 1 ounce of coconut rum, and blue curacao. But normally you would put an ounce of pineapple juice. So I guess ours is just a little bit more concentrated, which should make this a much more interesting stream, I suppose.
It's an interesting that it's blue curacao when Kurosawa was an influence on George Lucas.
I like that. I like that connection. This is why we keep you around, Boomer. Thank you very much. That was good. Yes, it is tasty, PJ. I really do enjoy this. But I normally don't drink creamy alcoholic beverages, so I only really do this for the Star Wars streams.
Jedi Bill's on Cosby saying, "Are you going to start the movie?"
Yes, I'm going to. Real quick, though, I do want to go around and very briefly, because I know everybody here has already been doing a lot of Star Wars talk this week. Netter, any quick thoughts about the first time you saw Star Wars? Did you see it in the theater, like this version of it?
I think so. I was trying to think back. Because I know, like, I used to go every Saturday in a movie theater, and it didn't matter what was playing, I stayed and watched it. Mm-hmm. So I never knew beforehand what was going to be there.
Yeah.
I would just show up on the Saturday, I watched the movie, or if I was lucky, there was a double feature, and I would watch that. And I got to see a lot of interesting movies that way. So I most likely saw this in the theater, and it was just another one of those movies that I thought was interesting, because it's like, oh, here's a movie about space and robots and things. I never really thought much of it until you.
Tell me. Okay, that's absolutely
and then it's
fair.
like, oh, this looks familiar.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, you took to it like
a duck to water.
Yeah, you really did. I mean, I joke and I call Netter my enabler, but she, she's that kind of geek girl that, okay, I wasn't really into this, but I'll check it out. And okay, I'm fired up about it. Your enthusiasm for it's infectious. It's not, there isn't very many things in our marriage that, we don't share the interest somehow. No chance of us growing apart, Age of Boomer, what was your, you are slightly younger than I am. So
Did not see this in the theater.
You didn't see it at all in the theater.
As it came out like a week or two after I was born, like a week after I was born, so a few days after I was born. So I did see it on Showtime when I was 4 years old. My dad recorded it off Showtime, so I would watch it over and over and over again. And I remember seeing Star Wars for the first time on Showtime, and I was like, "Where's the little green guy? Where's Yoda? Thought he was in this." Because I didn't understand the concept that there was a sequel and all this other stuff,
Let me interrupt you real quick, because PJ from Orville Nation's being a smartass. Did you tell Ryan Johnson to use that stuff in episode 8, Troy? Yeah. You're so funny. I'm sorry. Go on, you, Greedo. Did I scare you away?
Oh no, I don't like that. That freaks me out. All right. Anyway, no.
Yeah, Ruin Johnson is a little scary.
And I got to learn how to use the VCR because I kept wanting to watch Star Wars over and over again. So when I was like 4 years old, and I would come home from school and I would want to watch Star Wars again and again and again. It was a regular thing for me and then Jedi came out. I think when I was 6, so that was a big deal. Empire, I remember seeing that briefly, but my family took me to the theater, but I was like 3, so I just fell asleep during the movie. I'm like,
Wow. Yeah, so you watched Star Wars to death, is what you're saying.
When I was a child, yes.
Yeah, you were telling me back in the green room, you were talking about how you had kind of memorized it.
When I was a kid, I was able to follow the lines along. I mean, I don't now, but when I was a child, because it was the movie I watched the most. Yeah.
Evelyn Hampton says, I wore my hair in a Princess Leia style for a year. That is actually, that is a style that it wasn't new to Star Wars. It was actually a very old style, that I felt needed to come back. But unfortunately, when it comes back that way, people look and go, oh, Princess Leia, or Padme Amidala, or whatever. But, yeah. But you know what? There's a lot of people that went to Renaissance fairs that were like, oh, I've seen that plenty of times. Speaking of which, Al, what was your experience with the first time you saw Star Wars?
It took several weeks for it to come to a theater near me, being rural and the way that it was it was distributed at the time.
Yeah.
But I was a 12-year-old kid, and I remember seeing it for the first time, probably like mid-June, late June, and life changed when I saw it.
I'm with you.
I remember going home, kind of crawling up into the rear window as Mom took me, and I think someone else was with us, just looking up into space, going,
Yeah.
I wonder if that kind of stuff is really out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, the world literally changed for me.
Yeah, I hear you. Absolutely. I did see it, not like opening night. I didn't see it, on May 25th or whatever. But I did see it that summer. It was in the theaters a long time. I mean, it had talk about, we talk about movies having legs, not like back then. And I keep, on all the streams where I've been talking about this, the younger listeners need to understand that back in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't until the 80s that we had home media, right? So if you wanted to see a movie, you went to the theater. That was where you saw it. That was the only place you saw it. And if you wanted to see it again and again, you had to buy another ticket, And
Or sneak back in.
Or sneak back in. Yeah, right, exactly. Or just kind of hide out and watch it all day long. But so when Star Wars first released and it left the theaters, you didn't see it again until they re-released it. And then I think the next time they re-released it, it was the THX with the digitized sound, and they started to tweak it a little bit. And then they next released it with the special edition, and they started showing it. That's when they started showing it on cable. That's when they started showing it on television. There was a network television broadcast of it. And what I did was I took out my brand new, at the time, Sony Walkman with the stereo microphone, put it right in front of the TV and recorded it. So my first recording was not even a VHS, it was an audio recording. And I played that over and over and over again. And I could picture in my mind's eye the opening scroll. I could picture the ships going over, they shut down the main reactor. We'll be destroyed for sure. This is madness. There'll be no escape for the princess this time. We're doomed. And I literally learned it because I kept listening to it over and over and over again. Now, I should really apply that to learning the Klingon language, and I'll be all set. But that's a whole different story. So, that was my first. So the first time I saw it, I went to the theater. I know it was a Wednesday. I don't know the date, but I know it was a Wednesday because it was the date that my grandmother had off of work, and my grandmother and grandfather used to go do whatever they did on their day off. That was their day off. And I hung out with them on Wednesdays in the summertime when I was staying with them, and they took me to see Star Wars. And then they took me to buy an action figure. And it was all over for me, But yeah, so that is the first time I saw it. Then a couple weeks later, I saw it at the drive-in with my uncle in his pickup truck, and one of the people that worked for him at the marina came and joined us. He pulled up next to us, and then he jumped in the truck with us, and it was a lot of fun. And that was.
Except I saw it at the drive-in too. Best double feature of all time: Star Wars and War of the Worlds, the original 50s.
That is a good pairing because
that was awesome.
My understanding was that by summertime they were given a lot more flexibility, but I think in May they were told they had to pair it up with some other film that 20th Century Fox was putting out that it was like a part of a package deal, and I don't even remember the film. It's like nobody else cared about that movie. All anyone cared about was Star Wars. And I'm guessing,
Man.
yes,
The Incredible.
No. It was some sort of a drama, love story kind of,
Okay.
This Side of Paradise or some crap like that. I don't know. But it wasn't Star Wars, let me tell you. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started. If you happen to have... Oh, I just realized that my... Oh, no, it hasn't gone to sleep. It's okay. If you happen to have the... like a rip of the laser disc... if you're trying to do this with a laser disc and sync it up with us, good luck when you have to change discs and flip it over and all that kind of stuff. So you should by now have had it converted to a single DVD. But if you don't, that's fine. That Cosme link is up there. You can watch along with us. Real quick, I want to say hi to Tim Hayes. Always faithful, Tim Hayes. Love seeing you, not only here, but over at Retro Blasting and all the other streams that we both frequent. Super appreciate it. Yes, Jedi Bill, let's get it started. So if you are, by chance, and this is also for the people in the future that might stumble on this, want to listen to our commentary along with your edition of Star Wars, we're starting right from the 0 mark. And I'm going to do the countdown, 3, 2, 1, play, and we're going to hit play. But if you're watching on Cosme, it doesn't matter to you in the slightest, because it'll start playing, and you'll watch. Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. And there is the drum roll and the fanfare. That's the way it should be, from 20th Century Fox.
I remember that.
Oh, and the film it was paired with was The Other Side of Midnight.
I knew it was The Other Side of... Oh, Other Side of Midnight. I should have remembered that because deleted scenes. Right.
Yes.
Right?
All right. I don't think I've ever seen this particular version.
Yeah. It's not as different as people make it out. It is a period of civil war. Rebel starships striking from a hidden base have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. Well, it's readable. It doesn't go too fast. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star. An armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. This is actually brilliant. You get all your exposition right here. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. Right? We didn't need the prequels. We didn't need any extraneous information. We just jumped right into it. And medias res.
Right there.
Basically, the opening crawl became Rogue One.
Yes,
pretty much.
So.
And I remember sitting in the theater going, wow, that looks so cool. And then this happened.
Yeah. Never seen anything like this before.
Nope.
The closest thing we'd seen previously was 2001: A Space Odyssey. But then the ships,
And it seemed to go on forever.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
That reminds me, I won your little shippy.
Oh, thank you. Netter got me the main part of a Y-Wing so I could do the holiday special diorama with Boba Fett.
I remember when I first saw this, I thought R2-D2 was going to be the main character. When I was a child.
In a way, isn't he?
Yeah.
In a way. He is basically the narrator.
Yeah.
And you always wonder what happened to that silver protocol droid.
He was probably confiscated by the Empire.
It was an action figure you get, the silver one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the original silver one was the Death Star droid, which you see on the Death Star. But yes, there's been a vintage collection version that's the silver, and I'm sure super fans know what the designation of that droid is.
It's
I have,
a crime. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
I said I have the little die-cast Star Destroyer, and thankfully I still have the little Tantive 5, the little half-an-inch
Nice.
Tantive 5 that fits up in it.
Very nice, very nice.
It's a crime we still have not gotten this original theatrical version, or even they should just have a set that has all of the different versions of it.
I agree. I
You can
agree.
watch it for posterity.
There's a pan and scan version that came out with the Blu-ray, but
Really?
it's not quite the same. Yeah.
Interesting. They had it with the special edition DVDs that came out with after the original special edition DVDs. You got a bonus disc that was a conversion of the Laserdisc version, but it's not anamorphic widescreen, so it's you're still going to get it like shadow boxed on your TV. It's not what you want.
Yep. Yep.
That tickled me when I first saw it. Them running across through the bolts.
Here we go.
Now, Lynn Green was mentioning having a fan edit. I've got a fan edit that it's really good. It takes some of the good things about the special editions, but it fixes little mistakes. Like right here, you can hear shots being fired. In that version, he adds blaster bolts that weren't there originally, so everything lines up. I also loved the jump cuts of him, extending the third leg, and then there's a cut because they then had to go in and set that leg so that he could move forward on it. Mm-hmm. And it's a little janky, but it's fine. It's a mechanical device, so you kind of get that. Netter just got me that droid. The action figure, obviously.
Oh, the one with the more conical head?
Yep, exactly. It's an R4 unit, I believe. Diplomatic mission. Where is the ambassador?
You hear that crunch? That terrified me as a kid.
And it's kind of hard to answer him when he's choking the life out of you.
Well, this is a very interesting point that Netter makes, and I want to point out the character arc of Darth Vader through the three movies. He is much more controlled by his anger in this movie, and he gets a little bit more vicious but subdued in Empire Strikes Back. And by Jedi, he's very much softened. That's an important character arc for where he gets to in Return of the Jedi. Yeah, Star Wars with Troy commentary is a whole other level of experience, yeah.
I think this is the first time you've done a commentary on this?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
And it's like C-3PO is like afraid of his own shadow. It's like, really? You're a coward droid?
Well, and you got to understand his programming, right? He's a protocol droid, right? I love in Return of the Jedi when they, I don't think I am programmed to impersonate a deity. It wouldn't be proper,
Right, but
I like
a robot of any sort, droid of any sort, should not have a fear chip, so to speak. So why is he afraid?
I think it makes us identify with them better, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Think? We're seeing them as actual, almost persons instead of just machines. I mean, it's
And
weird. It's like,
it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Maybe the programming is just different.
Yeah, maybe he is, artificial intelligence, maybe he is sentient,
Oh, also, fear would make it easier for him to obey whoever owned him, right?
Yeah, I suppose he'd be more obsequious, Oh, Maria, welcome. Haven't seen you here in a long time. Anyone who's joined just recently, right at the top of the chat, if you want to join and watch Star Wars with us, you absolutely can. This is the original theatrical release, so you probably, almost certainly, don't have a copy of it. She'll die before she tells you anything. Okay, if that's how it's got to be.
Now, if anyone's ever heard the on-set recording that Dave Prowse did.
David Prowse, yeah. He's got a very different voice. Yeah.
It was a stroke of genius to get James Earl Jones.
Yep.
I mean, nothing bad with David Prowse, but if you have a choice.
David Prowse would have been perfect for Darth Vader as he was originally written. That cyborg suit that's keeping him alive, as we find out by Return of the Jedi, was originally just meant to be a space encounter suit. And he would take the helmet off, like a knight taking off his helmet after a duel or whatever. But then they opted not to do that.
You've heard the radio version of Darth Vader. That reminds me more of the Prowse version when you listen to the radio version.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I haven't listened to as nearly as often as I've seen the movie. Over and over.
And I still feel bad for David Prowse because it's like, here you are, acting in the suit. Wait a minute, that's not my voice.
Yeah, that had to hurt.
Happens in movies all the time, though.
It does.
But they didn't even give him a heads up. Hey, you're going to be voiced by somebody else.
Although it worked out perfectly in Empire Strikes Back, because then you could keep from him the big secret, right?
Good.
I mean, as I recall, did even Mark Hamill know that the line was "I am your father"?
Not until just shortly before filming it. He was pulled aside.
Oh, so he did know when the scene was shot.
When he was reacting to it, he knew what was actually going to be said.
Right.
Gotcha.
But David Prowse, who always did the vocals on set,
Yeah.
it was Obi-Wan killed your father.
Oh, right. Tim Hayes. Yeah, I count on you guys to remember the details that I can't recall. Brock Peters did the NPR voice of Vader, right?
Here's the other thing. They landed in the desert, C-3PO and R2, right? R2 starts heading towards kind of like a mountain range where you can see that there's life.
Yeah.
Where C-3PO is wandering off somewhere else.
R2, it is implied that R2 has a much more grounded kind of common sense, and C-3PO is much more. He calls R2 a philosopher, but he acts more like a philosopher. Matanulia, yeah, I'm sorry. I wish you could. I wish I could get you a copy of this. I would send it to you absolutely if I could.
What I think's interesting though, I think starting out you don't like 3PO at all in the beginning of this movie.
I never really did. I got to be honest with you. I never really did like. And then all the stories I've heard about Anthony Daniels, I'm like, Al, you met Peter Mayhew, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, great guy. Yes, I did.
From what I've heard, he was a great guy until he started drinking. Then not so much.
He was very nice, very very social, just very friendly, and a huge hand. When I got to shake his hand, I was like, wow.
My understanding was that Ken Baker, David Prowse, and Peter Mayhew got along famously. And if they were at conventions together, they hung out together all the time. They did not care for Anthony Daniels. From what I understand. I don't know because I didn't meet any of them.
Hi, Maria.
I met a lot of them at a convention, and I still to this day I like saying I had breakfast with Dave Prowse.
Mm-hmm.
He was at the table right next to mine, but we just kind of did the nod, kind of good morning, nice, like the nonverbal stuff. It was very good.
Well, I'm sure the actors appreciate too not being bothered every minute of the day. It's like, I just want to have breakfast. Can you leave me alone?
Chris makes a great point here. He says, love those old school ionization effects. Let me tell you something. Everything about this movie was cutting edge. I mean, this created Skywalker sound. This created Industrial Lights and Magic. This was the Weta workshop of its day, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, think of all the projects Industrial Light and Magic worked on, not just Star Wars, just all they were all over the place. And who owns them now? Are they also owned by Disney?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they were part of Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
that's what
sure.
I thought.
Which sucks because honestly, and I'm not even being, black pilly, whatever. Disney kind of there's that silver droid that you were talking about that was released with the original 12.
I had one of his. I had one of those.
Yep.
I remember growing up.
Yep. R5D4.
R5.
Who got a whole new life from the Mandalorian.
Yep. Got mad respect for R5 now.
Yeah, I do too. I think they've kind of indirectly canonized his EU lore. So, just as a behind the scenes or EU or whatever, we all know that in a little bit, when they line up the droids to sell, this R2 unit has a VAD motivator. Look, in EU, he blew his motivator intentionally because he had been in communication with R2 before this scene here, and R2 told him, "I'm on an important mission." Oh, okay. You guys need to stick together. You need to get off this barge. And that's why he blew his motivator so that R2 would be bought instead of him. Later, R5, and this is absolute canon, he was sold to somebody else and ended up, through a series of fortunate or unfortunate events, he ends up a part of the rebellion somewhere. Mm-hmm. He ends up as a droid in somebody's ship somewhere.
He actually served with Carson Teva, I think that's his name, one of the X-Wing pilots on The Mandalorian.
Yep.
Because he calls him an old friend, someone he's worked with.
Gotcha. That is a very interesting fear to have, that they're going to melt us down. Obviously, he's afraid of dying, right? He doesn't want to be, destroyed.
Or deactivation, or whatever they call
it. But
right?
R2 is probably thinking, dude, we're worth more as droids than we are as scrap, you know?
But it also kind of reminds me of that movie AI, where they were capturing the AIs and other robots.
Yeah, and there's
torturing them for fun.
And there are EU stories where they put droids into gladiatorial combats and stuff.
Kind of like BattleBots with the.
Yep. So every single droid that you see in this scene, I have as an action figure. I'm going to be doing a diorama of this exact scene.
Of course you will, because I got them for you.
You see it half laid out in our front room right now.
Yeah, and your point is? And that's the library. He's taking over my library with his toys.
Now, isn't Aunt Beru's voice dubbed as well?
I don't know.
Why would it be?
I don't know, because I've heard multiple cuts of her dialogue.
I love the costuming in this movie.
I do too.
Costumes, everything looks lived in. We can relate to it, but it still isn't of our Earth. You know what I mean? That's what.
And it makes perfect sense for people living on a desert planet, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is, if I had hair, I'd have pulled it out. When the prequels came along, and the Jedi are wearing the same kind of outfits that Obi-Wan did. Obi-Wan was wearing this outfit because that's what they wore on Tatooine.
Yes.
I always imagined that the Jedi wore something closer to what Luke was wearing in Return of the Jedi.
That's what I always figured, yeah. Or maybe
some did. It didn't seem like there was a standard
Jedi
issue.
True.
But
I assumed it was with like the robes and stuff. When you look at old biblical epics, that's sort of what they're wearing, you know. And
Yeah.
that's you know.
Now watch this. So he brings out that little, inhibitor and hits it, and he freezes. That kind of, without having to go into exposition, explains what the restraining bolt and how it works, right?
What are you trying to push on us?
He's like, oh yeah, shut up. Just shut up. That little green dome droid that they were pushing off screen, that one has never been released by Hasbro Kenner.
So Troy's going to make one.
No, I'm probably going to end up getting it from that...
Tangori?
No, Tangori, because they only have what's been released. I was going to say the place that did the Cantina. Hole in the Wall Productions.
Now, that shuttle that he was playing with, that's not like an Imperial shuttle like we see in
No,
Part 3.
no, but it's put out by the same company. It's a T-16 Skyhopper.
Okay. 'Cause it looks slightly different, but I remember thinking as a kid, like, is that related to that at all? I mean,
it is, because, like I said, they come from the same company. It'd be like the equivalent of a Chevy Cavalier and a Camaro. You know what I mean?
And of course, now we know how he got it.
Mm-hmm.
If you watched Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yes, I at least saw that scene. Hello. Now, I gotta be honest though, the outfit that Luke is wearing right now is a martial arts gi. Is what it really is. And it kind of does make sense as an outfit that the Jedi would wear.
Right, because there's a lot of... If you watch a lot of those kung fu movies from the 70s...
Yeah, that whole Eastern thing.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, the original name that he had given to the order was the Jedi Bindu, I believe it was.
Interesting.
Hormones kick in.
That
Who is she? She's beautiful. I mean, she is.
That's what most guys think when they see a beautiful woman.
Yep. And it's totally not his sister because, they didn't grow up together. And so.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, but that can be pretty devastating when you find out, Hey, Gorilla Random Thoughts. Hey, Troy. How's it going? I don't know how long I'll be here. This voodoo and these hard Mountain Dew Baja Blasts were going down way too smooth during my review. Fair enough, my friend. Salud. I'm drinking some blue milk myself right here. Hard blue milk. Hard blue milk. I have a feeling that R2 during C-3PO's bath turned to Luke to say, "Look, I'm Butch and he's the bitch. And you won't have to worry about me complaining." Kinda.
Hey, where'd she go?
I love the fact that 3PO doesn't understand that he's purposely being obtuse.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine, you and another human being are like, I don't know, like servants or whatever, and someone hands you a scalpel and says, "Here, see what you could do with them." Okay.
they eating?
Bantha stew, maybe?
I kept thinking it was something made with plants. That was my impression. Like, I don't know. Like
Possibly. They probably have a hydroponic garden.
Like
they are moisture
or
farmers, so
something.
they probably have easy access to water for that.
Yeah. I kept thinking it was something vegetable-based they were eating, but I don't know. When I was a kid.
One of these days, maybe I'll do a sober stream and we can talk about the the correlations between Star Wars and Dune. Salud, Luke. The blue milk.
Dune was the big science fiction epic of the 70s, wasn't it? That was the, yeah, that was the...
There's a lot of things he drew from there.
He drew stuff from my favorite science fiction series, Chronicles of the Lensman. He took stuff from that. The idea of them having to get plans and funnel them back and find out where the hidden base was, or it was. Of course, he might have also taken that from Kurosawa, but there's some analogs of that in the book Galactic Patrol. You know, I know he must have read it.
Have a good night, Matanui. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Maria, I'm not sure if you're talking to us or someone else, but we love whenever you come and hang out with us. We certainly do.
Yeah, the Cosme link is at the top if you want to follow along, Maria.
Yeah, Tim Hayes, I think you and I are around the same age, probably. I think I was 6 when Jedi came out too.
When they started talking about the Academy, I always assumed that he wanted. See, I was a little confused as a kid. I thought, is he trying to join the Empire? Because that whole thing with Biggs has been excised, we don't get the backstory that Biggs joined the Academy so that he could jump ship and join the rebellion, and that's what Luke wanted to do.
It's explained in the radio series.
Yes, it is.
He's talking to Luke. He says a lot of me and a lot of the other cadets were going over the rebellion after we graduate from the academy.
Yeah.
They were going to go over the side. They were going there to train and learn how all this stuff worked, and then they were going to end.
I don't know, Maria. I'm used to people saying "you guys" as some kind of a threat.
You guys.
You
Is
guys.
that an Italian thing?
You guys. I'm sorry, Al. What were you saying?
I said that music's well when you stand there looking
Right?
at
Yeah.
good sons.
Yeah, the same place that I got the resin pieces for the cantina. You can also buy that speeder that 3PO is sitting next to. And the macro binoculars.
Now, I always think of the track on the soundtrack, this Binary Sunset. Whenever I see the scene, even though I don't know if that's the corresponding track here, but did you own the LP of this, the soundtrack when it came out?
I didn't.
My dad.
Hell, now that I think about it, I never had I still to this day don't have a soundtrack of Star Wars. I think I've got most of the Star Trek on DVD, not DVD, on CD, but no Star Wars.
Yeah, my dad had the double disc vinyl to this, and it was a funny story about that. When we were getting ready to move to Florida, he put out the vinyl he wanted to sell versus the vinyl that he was going to keep, and the wrong pile went on the garage sale. And I think the Star Wars was one of them. But
so this is the scene that probably established for you the assumption that they were eating some sort of a vegetarian meal, because you see her dropping the vegetables into the processor. Yeah, I mean, unless you go out and hunt, I mean, what are you going to hunt on Tatooine except maybe bantha, right? Or a Cryot dragon. You know, there's no way a farmer is going to be hunting a Cryot dragon. So it's going to be a bantha. But so you probably don't get meat very often. So you probably have a hydroponic garden because you are a moisture farmer and you have the water to raise a hydroponic garden.
Now, at this point, the Henson Company wasn't working with George Lucas yet, right? This wasn't a...
No. It wasn't until Empire.
He was probably
with
still getting his own
Yoda.
Stuff started, yeah. again, we have the special editions where they replace a lot of the creatures with CG creations, which honestly I don't think hold up as well.
Yeah, I think I understand where Lucas was coming from because, especially with that Jabba scene, he was expecting to be able to do something with that, and it wasn't until CG became practical that he was able to actually do it. That's honestly, I think that scene is the whole reason he did the special editions.
Right.
But honestly, I don't think CG was at the level to do what he wanted to do yet. I think he jumped the gun.
I always liked how Jabba was a mysterious character, though. In this,
I did too.
We don't actually get to see who he is or what he looks like, and of course that was a big deal when Jedi was coming out. You got to see Jabba the Hutt, right? That was going to be a thing.
So the Jabba the Hutt scene that we see in the special edition actually did appear in the Marvel Comics version of, the
interesting.
But they didn't have to depict Jabba the Hutt. They used a random alien, and it's a specific alien that you see in the cantina scene.
Right. And I know in the original scene, it was a human looking character who spoke with an Irish accent. Right. That was which I
yes.
Han me boy.
Han me boy. On me bookie.
On me boy. You got to say with the accent proper.
Adamas, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You can jump right in with us where we're at if you want to click the link at the top of the chat.
There's the great Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness, just came on screen. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I give Ewan McGregor points. He also plays the role well, too.
Yeah, no, he absolutely did. He paid attention and he understood whose shoes he was trying to fill.
Mm-hmm.
What's ironic is, and most people don't realize this, he is currently, as of the season that he filmed Obi-Wan Kenobi, that series, same age Alec Guinness was right here.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I remember being a kid and I'm listening to this and I'm like, I'm wanting to know, tell me. It's like...
He's me. Of Obi-Wan. I'll tell you what, I could totally disappear by changing my first name to Ralph. Ralph Pacelli. Nobody's going to know that it's me.
Yeah, just don't make it Tony because...
Tony's a little too close, right?
Because people keep calling you Tony. It's like, that's not his name.
That's okay.
In the chat last night, they called you Tony, and then later on said Troy.
It's even worse when people do it in an email. It's like, my name is right there in print. You could freaking copy-paste my name.
Honey, people call me Natalie. In emails.
Yeah.
In emails.
I hear you.
My name is right there. Why are you calling me Natalie?
Yeah.
Or I'm misspelling my name.
Lady Mist, I love to see you in the chat. Welcome. So glad you're here. If you disappear in New York, I think you might be able to pull it off. Yeah, and you know what? There is no Twin Towers now for me to leap off of to join the Great Hall. So, there's that element. I'll tell you what, my headcanon for what the Clone Wars was very, very different than what we got from the prequels.
Yeah.
The best Clone Wars I think I ever saw was in John Byrne's reboot of Superman. He had this idea that this terrorist organization started a chain reaction at the core of Krypton that blew it up. And the reason they did it was in protest of, in favor of cloning rights. clones were being... Whenever someone was born on Krypton, they would take some cells from them in utero, and they would grow 3 clones of you. One would be a child, one would be an adolescent, and one would be an adult. And as you went through your life, if you needed a replacement organ or something like that, they'd take it from the clones. And there was a group of clone rights activists that said clones are sentient beings. They should have rights and stuff. And they started a war on Krypton that totally decimated the surface. And then they started a doomsday device that would destroy Krypton by blowing it up from the core, but it would take 100 years to do. And that's what Jor-El discovered just before it blew up.
I thought it went along the lines more, I would rather the whole planet blow up than concede that these filthy clones are people.
That's an interesting point of view too. Yeah.
And then the parents just say, okay.
So here you get the exposition in a very interesting way. You're getting it from Luke's point of view. He has no idea what the Force is, just like the audience doesn't. And so you get the old wizard explaining it, the philosophy behind it. Shockingly, no mention of having met him as a little girl. You know, years ago, you and I had an adventure together and you saved my life, and now I need you again.
They covered that at the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Anyway.
Because someone probably pointed out this doesn't jive.
It made perfect sense when they explained it.
Oh, I thought they put some memory wipe on her at the kid on the end, right? And yeah.
No?
You will forget that you ever met me.
Is that happened? Did he do that? Yeah, that should be what happened.
That would make sense, yeah.
No, he just basically said, you know, you must never let anybody know that we have ever...
Yeah, that's exactly how they explained away Star Trek Discovery, too. I will never mention that I had a sister, and we will never mention the Star Trek Discovery, you know.
Why didn't they just have her being raised by a different Vulcan family?
Or why didn't they go with the original script, where it was supposed to be Luke instead of Leia?
Well, I was talking about STD, but anyway.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I wasn't against the idea of her being raised by Vulcans. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I agree. But why did it have to specifically be Spock?
Yes. Like, there was potential on Discovery in that first season. I was not completely against it. People think I hated Kurtzman check from the get-go. No, I was trying to give it a chance. Then we got season 2, which was worse.
I do appreciate what Obi-Wan's doing. He does want Luke to go with him, but he doesn't want to force him. You know? It's got to be his own decision.
I love this scene.
I do too. You get so much great exposition in a very dynamic way.
Yeah, like maybe with Force Awakens, like who are the Resistance?
You get none of that. You have no idea who's doing
what's going
what
on here. Few words, and I understand.
I shouldn't have to do homework to fill in the gaps.
But here's the deal: this is like less than a minute, or like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
finding out everything we need to know.
Yeah,
there's a Senate. It's been dissolved. These are the local governors.
The Tarkin Doctrine. See, that's the kind of arrogance that leads to disaster. And honestly, I suspect that Tarkin is thinking exactly that.
The power of the Force.
He don't care. He's some agnostic atheist. This is all nonsense he's thinking.
I do love this. This is, let me just demonstrate to you a little bit of that Force.
He's saying, "Force so great, why haven't you?"
Honestly, let's give props to this actor who contorts his neck in such a way that, you know.
It's like, stop playing around.
And when you've got Governor Tarkin, who has no problem shouting, barking an order at Vader, that takes some cojones.
Vader is his subordinate, I think, or at least that's
no. They are the same rank.
Okay,
but they both answer directly to the Emperor. So the Emperor's not going to be too pleased if I kill Tarkin, so Tarkin knows he's safe.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think they're at odds ends at this point, right? They're on the same side.
Yeah, Netter, would you be... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Deleted Scenes already dropped the link. Thank you for doing that. We dropped it on Netter's stream yesterday. Tom Connors... Actually, he's going through a lot more than just Sadie needing an operation. Sadie needs an operation. He's having problems with his transmission. If you are able to give anything...
Even if it's $1.
Yeah, go to the GoFundMe, give something. If not, if you honestly can't, or even if you can, share that link out with all of your, social media peoples.
And despite the fact that he's met the goal that's on GoFundMe,
He
ignore him.
way lowballed what he needs. He'll
Yes.
take he needs help. And he's
So-
just too proud to say how much he really needs.
Please keep giving. Because like Troy said, he's too proud to say, I really need this much. So just keep giving because he does need our help. And he's one of our family. So you help family.
Now, I can't help but think that if this were written today, this would be, oh, okay, well, my uncle and aunt are dead. I guess I'm free. Let's go.
No. This scene's very important. This is
It is.
brutal scenes in the movie. You see those charred bodies. Something very nasty happened here.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan tells him don't go. Luke ignores him, which this is why we like Luke, because frankly sometimes these Jedi Masters don't always give the best.
No.
He had to go home and check on his aunt and uncle.
You've got a lot of people trying to keep Luke safe.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's a hero. He can't be kept safe.
Yes. He has to go do the right thing. That's his thing.
I would like to say one thing about the Death Star. I always preferred this original Death Star because it doesn't have all the pieces missing, like the
Yeah.
second one.
Right?
But that was a trap, though. That was made to look like it was not.
Yeah, it was fully functional, yeah.
It was still ugly.
Well, they didn't want to just repeat the same thing either in the sequel. I understand why, but yeah.
It was also supposed to be like twice the size or something.
I do want to say something, though. It took them how long to build this Death Star? Of course, maybe it was one of these things where it took a while for them to figure out how to build it. Is that what it was once they...
Yeah, well, I get the impression that this first Death Star... I think in the EU, they have explained that the other one was already in production when they finished the first Death Star. And I'm pretty sure that the first Death Star... Well, we saw the plans being handed off in the prequels. So they started building, like, right after the Clone Wars. Or maybe even during the Clone Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. I mean, unless you come to Earth and visit Washington, D.C.
Ba-dum-bum.
And you notice there was a speeder that went by that was the exact same one from the Lars homestead. You don't need to see his identification. We don't need this kind of problem. Oh, I didn't know that Matt was in the hospital. There's So you guys might remember about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, Matt was a guest, a transatlantic special here on Last Call. He moved to the U.S. To meet up with his fiance, and apparently he's having some medical problems. If you could help him out, super appreciate that too. That little white speeder, that round domed speeder there. If you're into action figures and you're interested, Stan Solo has been putting out one that, honestly, if you bought it, you couldn't tell it wasn't from Kenner back in the 70s. I think every single character you see here, I've got an action figure of, and if I don't, I'm working on a custom of it.
The guy in the spacesuit, is he not breathing the regular atmosphere there? Is that what
There's actually 3 people in spacesuits in throughout the cantina. Yeah, I suppose that's the assumption. Droid detector. Those 2 girls there have never had an official action figure release. And it's partly because the taller of the 2 tried to sue for the rights to her image in the merchandising, and Lucasfilm said no, so they never put out an action figure of her.
Why do CD bartenders always look the same, no matter what planet you're on?
You're right.
He looks like a CD bartender.
Yeah, look at Ted Danson, right?
Well, no, I'm thinking like I remember there was a Simpsons episode where he had to go to a different bar and he was just horrible looking bartender.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Pando Baba.
He's a butterface.
Everything but her face, right? I don't like you either.
Now, notice how Obi-Wan was trying to de-escalate that.
Yes, he did. He absolutely did.
Shouldn't that have cauterized a wound?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Something, we don't get to see the outcome of what happened there.
Everybody
What's
starts
funny
playing,
is,
goes
you know,
back
we
to
always
the-
talk about multiple scenes being shot. Did you know that there was actually 3 scenes of that arm lying on the floor shot? That was one. That's the one with the blood. They did another one where it was cauterized and there was no blood. And they did another bloody one where it was Dr. Savaz's arm instead of Pando Baba's.
Interesting.
They decided not to go with his because it would have been a human hand. At least this way it was an alien hand. But then they were able to justify the blood.
The 2 of those guys didn't make it. That's my impression of that scene.
But in the EU, they both survived. Just Pando Baba had to get a
Oh, please.
artificial arm.
Why do they always just let a character die? It's okay.
I know.
It's like no one's dead in Star Wars. It's ridiculous. Governor Tarkin's going to come back someday. Hey, was in the escape pod and got out of it. Come on, stop it.
I do like this. Sir Torin, R2 shuffling in the back. Good, I can't get on the steps anyway. Hold on to that thought. You will see R2 going down the steps in just a minute. Well, to avoid any Imperial entanglements. Ah, that's the trick, isn't it?
He's funny.
I love that look. It's like, sit down, relax. Kind of, he's already starting to train Luke here in a way.
Well, I like how you have the antagonism between him and Han already starting.
Yes. It is dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Those are the troublemakers. Get them the hell out of here. There's that snaggletooth. Yeah, ironic words. Here we go. So, Vitale.
I'll say this: when the special editions came out on VHS and I got the widescreen versions, they actually put all the Greedo subtitles in the black part of the screen. Which I thought
Yeah.
you know. With me.
I do like he's playing with the stucco as he's starting to reach for his gun. Being all casual. Over my dead body. That's the idea. Yes, I'll bet you have.
Oh.
Well,
Han shot only.
There, yeah, I insist on that because there is no indicator that Greedo shot at all. But I will say it is ambiguous, and it should be left ambiguous. You don't need to spell out every little detail, every little thought, every character's thinking. Let the audience make the decision for themselves. Joshua V, welcome. Thanks so much for being here, my friend. It's good to see you. Everybody make sure you wish Big Al here a happy birthday. He's hanging out with us on his birthday, and I appreciate that.
Happy birthday, Big Al. I wrote it, but I didn't say it to you yet tonight.
Happy birthday, Big Al.
See, there you go.
We need.
Yep. I tend to agree with you 100%, Jedi Bill. The only shot that was fired was Han Solo's, right?
mm-hmm. Not very stormtroopery, just to go on. I figured they'd be blasting.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's very typical. You know, just move along. Yeah, just going about his business. I do like Evelyn's two eternal truths. Pluto is a planet, and Han Solo shot first.
That reminded me of some robot puppet that showed up on some Jim Henson thing. The guy in the background. That's not
that white one. Yeah,
that droid. Yeah, it's just.
And see, what was interesting is a lot of the aliens you see outside the cantina, you actually saw in scenes inside the cantina, which made me think, you know, they just went outside to get some fresh air or whatever. That dude that just walked across the front, that was the Jabba of the comic book.
Interesting. Now, this is interesting, this Imperial spy.
Look, there's R2 coming down the steps. They cut away because they can't do it very quickly or for very long. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Boomer?
I'm going to say that Imperial spy shows that aliens also work for the Empire. They always act like it's a human-only organization, but there you see
I don't want to get too into it, but there were people in Germany that had no business helping out the Nazis, but out of fear, that's what they did. Or opportunism.
It's an interesting rifle that guy has. Like
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of fans that can tell you exactly what kind of gun that was underneath all the add-ons that they put on them. Like, you know, we all know Han Solo's the base gun is a German Mauser, broom handle Mauser. See, that's the other thing. In the behind the scenes, you can hear Peter Mayhew giving the lines. There's nothing here that indicates what Chewie's saying. You have to get it from context.
Mm-hmm.
He probably says, I'm seeing something on our scopes or something like that. Well, that's a neat trick.
I heard you just slap the can away.
Kind of makes me wonder what it would have been like if it was Han Solo that was that got a hold of Grogu and had to get him someplace. Slap his hand. Don't touch that.
Was that a popular 70s style, the bun hair thing?
No, it wasn't. It's much more of a Renaissance hairstyle.
Okay. So I remember seeing the favorite horror movie of mine, Suspiria. One of the women had their hair in that style, and that was made
So
around.
yes, so in the
It was in Europe, though.
yeah, I was going to say in Germany that was very popular in like the around the time of World War One.
Movie takes place in Germany, actually. So
There
that's
you go.
interesting. Okay, that explains it. Okay. So,
I'm glad she eventually dropped the English accent.
Well, but you notice, pay very close attention. She uses it at very specific points, and it's implied that it's she's speaking in a like a you speak when she's being diplomatic, when she's being official, because she's a senator.
When she's like acting posh.
Exactly, but when she's dropping the pretense, the accent changes.
and here we have the great Peter Cushing, who I think you share a birthday with, right, Big Al?
Yep.
There you go. That line, "You may fire when ready." I love the fact that that is preserved in the original Star Wars arcade game. One of the first times an arcade digitized human speech.
Yeah.
That was the original effect. It didn't have the big accretion disc or any of that kind of stuff. A little angina.
Could have been something bad in his bantha stew.
There you go, right? Don't everyone thank me at once. I have to admit that the first time I saw this, I didn't quite catch on that these were meant to be holographic pieces.
Squish.
Even though they are translucent. Yup.
It was that right there when I fell in love with Chewbacca.
Yup.
He puts
I
a
get
hand
that.
behind his head.
I bet there were Jedi on that planet. The operative word being were. And Connie says happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Connie.
Another thing the prequels did where they made those things standard Jedi training tools, where I just imagined this was just something Obi-Wan found on the ship.
Yeah, I always assumed that it was, Han had that and he practiced with them, dodging and,
Dodging bullets or something.
Yeah.
Blaster. Yeah, yeah.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
He's right.
Major Iceborg in the Fifth Element has a Princess Leia hairdo, yeah. And the way that he emotes as he's watching, he's like, he's not reaching out, he's listening. Oh, there he goes, She lied to us. Terminate her a lot.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Had a little Doctor Who feel there.
Yeah, exactly, right?
All the rocks.
Yep.
All those asteroids.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
See, that's another interesting thing. You start to realize that Obi-Wan knows a lot more than someone, living on Tatooine would, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do know that from what Leia was saying, he had fought in the Clone Wars. So
Right. So you start to realize, okay, this really is somebody who's seen combat, space combat, traveled the galaxy. He's already talked about being a Jedi Knight, whatever that meant at the time, we didn't know. I love the way he delivers that line too. It's too big to be a space station. He like at the very end of that sentence, he realizes, maybe not.
Maybe it is a space station.
And now we're caught in a tractor beam.
See, on Star Trek, you always see the tractor beam, but I think it's in some ways more effective here, where it's like,
Yeah,
you're just gonna,
because you figure it's some sort of a graviton beam, right? You wouldn't actually see something. And I always imagine that when Obi-Wan said there are alternatives to fighting, Han was already thinking of, the whole smuggling container thing. And here you got two space troopers, with airtight uniforms outside of the Death Star.
I'm kind of curious, you two, when you watched this for the first time, were you Were you surprised they were going into the belly of the beast right now? Did you expect that to happen?
It definitely builds the tension, right? Oh no! What are they going to do now?
It really was like when you first watch it. It's hard to believe now. Like a time I didn't know what was happening in this thing, but it was a wild ride. You're like, oh, they're captured. What now?
Yep.
But it's that adventure. One thing leads to the next, and you go along for the ride.
Hey, Tim Hayes, he just finished cutting his lawn. Yeah, we just got pulled into the Death Star. If you want to join us, the link is up ahead. You can join the film right where it's at.
Since he sliced my face helmet off.
Yeah. Never thought I'd be smuggling myself. I knew he would say that.
It's a good line.
It is.
A lot of good lines in this movie, actually.
If I'm a fool and you're following me, what does that say about you?
Like when you follow a friend into the ladies' restroom. I'm sorry.
It's happened with us, and then her stops and turns and she goes, I don't particularly mind, but there might be some people in here that would.
Yeah, I know. It's like you blame your friend for going in the ladies, but you followed him, it's like...
Yeah, exactly.
I love this.
I do too, and it's not the first time that he just, acts casual, like...
Fly casual.
Yeah, fly casual. I'm taking a bantha milk break.
We don't serve bantha milk here.
Yeah, right. This I always thought was clever too. Huh? Can't hear you.
Love this part. Boom.
Boom. I look at Harrison Ford in these scenes.
Yeah.
And the resemblance to Val Kilmer about 6-7 years from now is uncanny.
That means Harrison Ford could have played Batman.
Yeah?
Yeah, he could have.
And Mark Hamill could have played the Joker.
Yeah, well, obviously, yes. It's funny seeing him as the trickster on the Flash series.
Yeah. In subsequent viewings, when you realize this is the last time he speaks to Luke, your fate lies along a different path than mine. The Force will be with you always. It's like the permanent goodbye, like he knew what was going to happen.
Well, Ben did, not Luke. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Ben knew it was a one-way mission.
Yep.
But he was ready for it. I mean, it was time.
Yeah.
Why isn't Luke saying I need to get back home to Tatooine and work the back 40 like Uncle Owen would have wanted?
Well, because he's already kind of dusted his boots off of there. You know, he was planning to leave anyway, and now that his uncle and aunt are dead, there's literally no reason for him to be there.
That was my joke about Smallville.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Plus the homestead's blasted up. There's dead bodies all over the place.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you bury your aunt and uncle?
Better her than me. It's like he thinks, what motivates him? Ah, I know. I can imagine quite a bit. Well, you know, you think you are. Lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters. And he leans on R2.
I love this. He just
the little mouse droid, yeah. He's like, I don't get paid enough for this crap.
I like he kind of was amused by it.
But here's the thing: I when they do find the princess, aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper? Well, considering he got the armor from another stormtrooper.
Well, yeah, good point. I'm sure there was a point when Harrison Ford was considered for Batman when Darren Aronofsky was going to direct this version of his version of The Dark Knight Returns. He wanted Clint Eastwood. Interesting.
That's so weird. I remember reading an Ain't It Cool News article, and I don't know if it was true about the original Darren Aronofsky, Frank Miller script. Oh.
Steven Seagal was even considered for Batman '89 because he was under contract to Warner's. Gosh, I can't even imagine.
Would have been a disaster.
That would have been a train wreck.
I would imagine. But yeah, when you think about all the roads not taken, you know, I mean, what's his name? The one that was going to originally play in Back to the Future, Eric Stoltz. Mm-hmm. My understanding is that this Flash movie coming out in that Batman '89's universe, Eric Stoltz starred in Back to the Future.
Interesting.
That's part of their multiverse thing.
They did that joke on Fringe as well, remember?
Yes, they did.
They were in the alternate Earth.
There was a lot of great and interesting alternates, like the Red Lantern and everything.
Yeah.
Nice little 1138 shutout.
Yep.
Look out, he's loose.
Watch out, he's
Yeah.
loose.
I'll say this for the Lego Star Wars game that came out many years ago. You could go around and shoot anything that was breakable. You know, and,
Yeah.
you know, pulverize it in the bricks. But I can't imagine, what are they shooting there?
Those are security cameras.
I love this.
We're all fine here, thanks. How are you?
boring conversation anyway.
See, that would have been a great opportunity to say TK421.
I wonder who else is in those prison cells, or maybe nobody. I don't know.
Yeah, how many prisoners might they actually have at that point, right?
It could be that this is a new facility, so maybe they haven't filled it up yet. I don't know.
Good point. Good point. Lady Miss is wishing you all kinds of happy birthday there, Big Al.
Oh, thank you, Lady Miss. Always sweet to get some happy birthdays.
Oh, that's a good point, Tim Hayes. They probably had some of the rebel troopers from the start of the movie, which is a damn shame because they all blow up at the end of this movie. Spoiler alert.
No, that's why I like to think that there was nobody else in those cells, because they could have had that. They could have gotten their help in getting out of there too. You know, it's like
Yep.
I don't think that one was supposed to trip coming through the door.
I know. And the guy behind was like, damn it, Charlie's taking up the whole floor in front of us. I gotta step over his ass. Well, nobody was shooting at me in there, so...
Sure, because that's going to work.
And then we're really screwed. I do love the fact that she doesn't just sit and wait to be rescued.
No, yeah.
I mean, forget, the gender roles and all that BS. You think princess. Yeah. She is not some mollycoddled princess. Hell, even Chewie's like, I don't want to jump down there.
I don't care what you smell. Remember that line?
Yeah. Into the garbage chute, Flyboy. I love that.
Ooh. Did you have the Death Star playset?
I did, and I do. I've had to buy reproduction foam for the...
I had it too. I had the foam. I got it as a hand-me-down.
Because
that was a good hand-me-down.
That foam crumbles into dust.
It does, yeah. How about you, Big Al? Did you have the Death Star playset?
I never had the Death Star. I had Jabba's...
the throne?
Palace. Yeah, I had the throne. I still do. I have his little throne in Jabba.
Yeah.
With the little hookah pipe.
Yup.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had the Hoth. I had Hoth playset. I had.
Yeah.
I think I had something else, but I forgot what it was. And sadly, I downsized it.
Yeah, I hear
I gave it to a friend who helped me move, and he did some restoration stuff to it.
Look at that.
Dianoga.
It's a Dianoga, right?
So they must be standing on some sort of ledge because... But then that doesn't make sense because it's going up to their knees and all of a sudden he's pulled under when he was standing on...
I assume that they're just... Yes, I mean, in reality, they're probably standing on a floor. But I always assumed that they were standing on garbage. You know, that there's piles and piles and they're standing on a pile of garbage.
Shoot it anywhere.
Pardon me, George. Could this be Dianoga Poo Poo?
Oh.
Intergalactic wet T-shirt contest.
Strategic gaffer's tape.
Because they don't have bras in outer space.
So someone made a point, like I think it was Red Letter Media when they were reviewing Attack of the Clones and how Obi-Wan was saying, remember when we were trapped in that thing with a bunch of hungry something or something, we had to get us out, and it's like,
Right.
You're telling us and not showing us. Here we're showing what's happening.
Yes, exactly.
Little adventure in the trash compactor. Remember, we're in the trash compactor. And there's a
But
monster
I don't mind that so much because it's like, you're going to get to see a lot of stuff. We want you to know that there was other stuff that happened in between the movies, too, you know? And we'll leave that to Filoni to create a cartoon about, you know?
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jedi Bill had Luke Speeder and X-Wing and the original Millennium Falcon. I had the first two. I didn't have the original Millennium Falcon. It wasn't until the 90s when they released the bigger one that I got it. And then Netter got me the big one that hung from the ceiling.
I had the Falcon playset.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I still have an X-Wing somewhere.
I always talk about my friend David. I had the Death Star playset. So did he, but he also had the Millennium Falcon. And somebody who had both the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon, that was spoiled.
Yep. First, I still have the first Star Wars toy I ever was. My mother bought for me, which was Luke Speeder.
Luke Speeder, yeah.
Yep. Still got it. Sitting on...
It had a button in the front that when you pushed it, you could open the hood. Yep. But what I like to do is I used to push it so that it ran into the wall, like, you know, and the hood popped up, you know, like it crashed.
And it had the little plastic wheels that, like, bounce to make it look like it was hovering.
Really good suspension so it looked like it was hovering, yeah. Oh my, I forgot. Shut them all down. I'll tell you what, it does get pretty tense. Sir Torrance said he never had any of the play sets. The only thing that came close to it was the speeders from Jedi. Okay, yeah. I had Luke and a trooper, and I used to reenact the chase scene. Yeah.
326-3827. I remember that number.
I'll tell you what, Jedi Bill, I am not one of those ones that needs everything to be in pristine condition. I have been doing a lot of getting, you know, just out of package, pieces, parts, and then I'll watch a toy ploy video on how to restore them.
Whoa.
So
it was... Tim Hayes was talking about the Death Star playset. The big main shaft was basically an elevator that led up to this, section that Obi-Wan would walk on. But each level was like a different scene in the Death Star.
I had the miniature toys too of the Death Star. Remember the miniature sets?
Yeah. Those were a little harder to get, especially since I'd already spent so much on the 3 3/4.
I did have the whole Death Star set. It was different than the
yes,
the figure set. It was neat because you could actually get your finger caught in that the door that opens up and it shuts in that weird way. No reward is worth it.
Yeah. Right. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks, deleted scenes. Great matte paintings in this movie. Yeah, so good. If you haven't seen the behind the scenes, you may not even realize what that. All of that except that little ledge that he's standing on is a matte painting.
A lot of use of scale in this movie.
Yeah.
What are they talking about? Some kind of car or something? What vehicle?
Something like that. Yeah, it's just idle chit chat. Right. Yeah, that top level though, it actually is supposed to be the turbo blasters, which you see firing during the trench run scenes. I thought this was brilliant. Yeah, one guy chasing a whole army of them. They get to a dead end and turn around. Well, what are you going to do?
And it gets in, there's only about 7 or 8 of them, not dozens.
Not a whole room full of them, yeah. I thought that was kind of overkill and unnecessary. Well, that's what happens when you take that wrong turn at Albuquerque. Oops.
You could do the extending bridge in the miniature set. You could extend
yes, you could. But why did you ever do that? Because you wanted them to swing across.
Yes. There might have been a way to have the miniature swing across. I don't remember. I think there was.
Oh, but Wilhelm screamed there. And she fires with the dirt face.
And that thin wire is supposed to hold both their weights.
Well, it's like some kind of carbon monofilament or something.
Plastisteel thread.
Yeah.
Okay. Plastisteel thread. I don't know.
It's like you don't have to worry about the stormtroopers. They can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Since they can't see all those helmets.
Between the helmets and the E-Web blasters that they have, yeah, that was a problem. It's what happens when you got a contract,
Yeah, they were contract. Yeah, Emperor already paid the money for this contract. It's sealed. We got to keep these.
Why would you have a retractable bridge over a bottomless pit in a space station? Well, in case, you got invaders that you're trying to keep from, getting out.
Here we go.
Yep.
Have you guys seen that fan film that redoes this battle? Yeah, it's actually really good.
And Mythbusters even proved that you can't swing across that gap with that rope.
Oh, you think that's bad? The swing that Luke and Leia do off of Jabba's sail barge. What is the rope attached to?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine.
Yep. Yeah, well, we had a plan. I had to stick to it. Yeah, because of the way they did the rotoscoping. When he points the blade straight at the camera, it loses the lighting effect. Sir Torrance says the Wilhelm scream was my favorite part of the Shadow of the Empire video game when you're fleeing Hoth. I dropped so many stormtroopers near the edge of the ice just for that sound.
Huh. Used to have that on the Nintendo 64. Remember the box from the Nintendo 64? It had I think it had Bowser, and right next to Bowser was a Stormtrooper. You know? So,
And Leia's like, "You dumbass!"
look at this. He's saying, "Where's the body?"
That's true, Tim Hayes. I had a lot of people that misheard lightsaber as lifesaver.
Run, Forrest, run.
Run, Luke, run. The stormtrooper's got a gun. Yeah, I always assumed, yep, looks like the tractor beam's off.
That was what Obi-Wan was doing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Disabling the tractor beam.
I love that mournful sound.
Yeah, it's like both of them have this empathy, right?
I'm like, "Whoa."
So this next scene is to get us out of the funk of losing Obi-Wan, right?
I also felt like R2 felt particularly bad about it because I think he liked Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was nice to him.
Yeah, people aren't very nice to R2.
Right, right. I mean, how many... Look at the way the droids are treated throughout the movie. Obi-Wan is the one that says, "Come here, my little friend." My little friend? Everyone else is just dismissive and ignores him, you know? That's a good point, Ano Mas. R2 probably still remembers Obi-Wan from the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm. Because he never he was never wiped. You're wiped.
Right, exactly. That's right. Although, yeah, we didn't know that at the time that we first saw this. All we had was the context within this film,
Right.
which is enough, you know?
Now, question for you: wouldn't this be a cool ride type situation? You get one of these cockpits and just shoot things at like a
Yeah,
Disney
if they did it like
yeah.
this, not the way I saw the footage from the Star
Falcon ride.
Cruiser. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What I love is the behind the scenes on this. So many of the shots here in this scene are reproduced from the gunner positions under the plane in World War II shooting at German fighter planes. I mean, like shot for shot.
Huh.
He just said, "Here, reproduce this." And he gave him, the war footage. Pew pew.
Pew pew.
Yeah, Alexa. Pew pew.
Pew pew.
That blowed up real good. Like a little
Yeah.
Death Star.
Yay.
Well, actually, Tim, Bail Organa specified C-3PO's memory be wiped, not R2's. I think he literally said, wipe this one's memory.
Wipe the protocol droid's memory. That's what he
You're right. And in retrospect, that threat has some teeth. This better work, Vader. I think the implication is, or the Emperor will know it was your failure. Yeah, Jyn Erso's dad put a failsafe in there, so yeah, you'll be okay. I didn't have a problem with Rogue One, but it was unnecessary.
It's a little. Come on. The whole idea of this flaw in the Death Star is that it's just an exhaust port somewhere. It's just a. It wasn't something. You know, the idea of him being able to get the what is it, the photon torpedo?
Well, and when you consider that it's it ends up that this is pretty much a prototype. They're actually working on another bigger one, which obviously they're going to fix this flaw. No, Tim, I don't think there's any indication that he knows who Anakin is. Although, interestingly, he assumes that there must have been someone that created him, which in the extraneous lore, people assume that when he says thank the Maker, he's actually talking about Anakin without even knowing it's Anakin he's talking about. I have to agree with him, Tim. I liked Rogue One, especially because of all the toys that we got out of it that were period appropriate to this movie. You know.
Do you like this period of Star Wars the best? This the first motion picture.
Yeah, I do. I love the fact that her dress is dirty. She's been through the Death Star and the prison and the junk, the trash compactor. She should be dirty. Most other movies, she'd have had a costume change for no reason.
Yeah, but if you notice, her hair is still pristine, not hair out of place.
Well,
Probably because it's wound so tight, you know? It's like a helmet.
It always got me how the technical readout had the firing disc center.
Center, yeah, exactly. And that's because they were drawing from the original concept drawings. They hadn't put together the model yet. In fact, did you know that center trench on the Death Star was specifically because of an error in the design process? When they did the vacuum form of the two shells, they didn't take shrinkage into account. And that's why they didn't mesh up. But they made it work. Yeah, Netter just got me that green and white droid.
Oh, little stripes around it.
Yep.
Does it have a name
Okay,
or
What's wrong?
designation?
I'm going with Diet Shasta Cream Soda.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm out of everything else.
Yeah, I gotta switch to water.
i.e., you're just a bad shot.
Yeah. Well, it is that concept of, he may not understand, hyperspace and all that kind of stuff, but when it comes to, ground level flying, he's good. He's talented.
But Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, he's not good at everything, but he's good at something, right?
But what allows him to get the final shot in, he's using the Force to do it. Right?
Right. Well, that does help.
No.
Tim Hayes, a lot of fans believe that was supposed to be Wedge Antilles, who says, that's an impossible shot or whatever. It wasn't. And so a lot of even more pedantic fans refer to him as fake Wedge, because it's not really Wedge. That's true. He had some help from Han. That's absolutely right. We didn't see this guy again until the last Starfighter. Which one were you talking about? Was he in the last Starfighter?
Huh. Oh.
Yeah.
Burn!
That does kind of take him off guard. There is a little bit of softening there, right? This is and you even get the impression that Chewbacca's like, oh, you softy, All pilots to your stations. I love the fact that Leia's just always so pragmatic.
Yeah. He helped us, get off there. We can't expect anything more. I mean, it's.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, for all the shit she was giving him, it's like, well, I guess I really kind of do owe him my life, No big scene here either.
Plus, you don't want someone part of your rebellion doesn't have his heart in it, Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I love the 6 Han Solo novels that are set before Star Wars. You really get the idea of what kind of a pirate he was, and yet clearly he had a heart. He would, help out some, planetary rebellion, but he'd like, I'm not sticking around. I got you the weapons. You paid for them. I'm done. And then it'd be like, okay, I'll stick around and help him. And so you get the impression there's a little bit of a habit there for him. And he'd always explain it away, why he did it. It's like, I want to make sure that they tell their friends about me so I get more business,
Question, do those helmets they're wearing have blast shields like the one he had in the on the Falcon?
I think the assumption is supposed to be that they do, like it was a visor inside that would slide in that they never use.
Okay.
I also saw a video on someone else's channel that talked about how the helmets work and the chest thing and stuff, that if they had to eject, that there was a certain amount of air and protection for a certain period of time.
Okay, that guy in the tower had a spear. What the heck good is a spear up the tower?
Don't know, but if fighter crafts are coming in, what's a blaster going to do?
Oh, look, it's the original craft, not the computer animated ones.
Yep.
I don't think I minded.
Simply Red standing by.
I think this was the one part where I didn't mind the addition of the CG and the.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I don't think.
And honestly, I didn't mind the big scene either.
No. There's Porkins.
Yep.
Should get a Porkins trilogy leading up to this, right?
That was Wedge. Look at the size of that thing. That's what she said.
Were there any books written about Porkins?
Good question. I don't know. It would have been It would have been a story set before Star Wars, obviously. There you go. There's that gun from the top of the Death Star playset. Of course, we didn't get a Imperial gunner until Return of the Jedi. And that was in the last wave that most people didn't get. I got a little cooked, but I'm all right. R2's like, I'm out here exposed, you dick.
I wonder if Porkins is the start of Lucas naming characters that's a little too spot on, you know?
Yeah, that's a great point, because that is a name in canon. The characters in like the Cantina and stuff, those were named by Kenner. Those weren't the names necessarily from Lucasfilm.
Interesting.
And of course, we just lost Porkins, but his soul would be reincarnated into a man who is trying to find the Ark for the American government.
That's right.
Oh,
that
that's
is right.
interesting.
You know, something else I noticed. Luke's the only one that talks to his R2 unit during the battle.
Well,
That was another thing. The idea of pilots walking around in their full pilot gear and helmets just in case they get deployed. Like, that doesn't seem right. Fred 5, where are you? I don't know, I'm lost!
I need to get to this place.
Yeah. That was an interesting game of chicken there.
The legend of Legend Tillies.
Yeah. He's not force sensitive, but he survives all the battles.
Played by Dennis Lawson, Ewan McGregor's uncle.
That's right. And that's how we know that that guy sitting next to Luke wasn't him, because it wasn't Dennis Lawson.
God, love a Y-Wing.
Tim Hayes got the Stan Solo reproduction of the Imperial Gunner. I got most of the reproductions of the last wave. See, the only reason that I passed up on a lot of those Stan Solo figures, as good as they were, is because Hasbro really did start putting out some really good, well-articulated, vintage collection figures. And so I ended up getting all of those.
God, the three TIE fighters, so iconic. That's why I put them in my my Tedward review of Star Wars yesterday.
I saw that. That was good. That was a good review. Like I said, if there was any movie that deserved 5 out of 5 stars, it's Star Wars. Anomas says he talks to R2 because he's not a bigot. Actually, if anything, I think he's smart enough to know I need help here, and I'll take all the help I can get. I think everyone else is so laser focused they forget that their R2 unit can do some stuff.
he says that, but you can kind of see in his face there's a little bit of nervousness.
Yeah. It's like,
I'm trying to stay confident, but
well, I think there's also the thought, if I leave and survive and this place blows up, I'm dead. The Emperor's just going to freaking kill me. Anomas says, Wedge was a better friend than Biggs. Did he know Wedge before this battle?
not that I know of.
I didn't have an indication that he ever... They got to be really good friends after this. Yeah, definitely. Because, yeah, he does survive the whole trilogy, and they serve in Rogue Squadron together. Almost there.
Almost there.
It's funny, Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader starts out with the Death Star run.
Yep.
It's first level.
Almost there. I like the fact that the animation of the torpedoes is off center, so you kind of already know. I don't know if that was by design or happenstance, but either way it works pretty well. Yeah, it's true. All of the Imperial uniforms definitely do resemble Nazi officers' uniforms. The fact that they're called stormtroopers, very, very Nazi era.
How is he the boss? It's the first
Because
time
he took the
he's ever
lead.
been in an X-wing.
He took the lead. They've all lost their wingmen, so they're forming up a new
Yeah, I
flight
know.
wing.
I'm just joking.
And I suspect Wedge doesn't really know Luke. He doesn't know how young and inexperienced he is. When someone comes over your con who's, another pilot and starts giving orders, and they're good orders, okay, I'm with you. Let's do this,
Mm-hmm.
And I like just the way that's edited implies to me that he was already working on it. Like he's going, got it, boss, no problem.
Well, I was doing that already. You didn't have to bring it to my attention.
That's true. The Michael's pointed that out. You don't get the pilots until Empire Strikes Back, so you have to substitute stormtroopers. See the stormtrooper in the TIE fighter cockpit. I don't know how to fly this thing. I'm a stormtrooper.
Yeah, I mean, if they can't hit a broadside of a barn, how are they supposed to fly a ship?
There he goes.
Yep.
Biggs, Darklighter, rest in peace.
They call him Big because he blows up big.
Or rest in pieces.
Yeah, Evelyn, I don't have any indication that they ever knew each other before the Battle of Yavin. But Biggs, who just got blowed up, yes, they were friends from Tashi Station. Yeah, the Force is strong with this one, just like you were when you were his age.
And one little thing, just as a shout out to
I'm all right.
soundtracks with Birdman.
Uh-huh.
The music in this entire trench run is so perfect.
Uh-huh.
Woo!
No!
I lost R2.
Did you think R2 had died at that point? You first saw it?
I did, yeah. As a kid, I thought that was the end of R2. But it was literally my uncle who was sitting next to me going, he's a robot, they can fix him.
And I love you can tell by the reaction of C-3PO just how sad he was.
Yeah. Well, especially later on when he goes, if any of my gears or circuits will help, I'll gladly donate them.
I like how that one pilot he sees the Falcon and he just crashes.
Yeah. And you get the impression that these surviving pilots are like, I gotta get out of here! This place is gonna blow!
And all those ships that went in, only 3 of them survived.
Yep.
And we know Luke and Wedge, but I wonder who was flying that Y-Wing.
Tim, I'll explain it at the end.
Darth Vader survives.
I love this. Luke, Carrie!
Luke, Carrie.
Yep. Yep.
Is this the version where Chewie actually gets a medal?
No. No, unfortunately it's not.
Stupid. You don't get the medal. He's I don't know.
In the book, he gets a medal.
He did, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why he doesn't get a medal in this scene?
Why?
It was too awkward because he was so tall and Carrie was so short. They couldn't figure out how to get the shot right. So this dress she's wearing, it's got cleavage. That's how you know it's a different dress than what she wore through the rest of the movie. But in all the promotional shots, she's wearing this dress with the 2 buns in her hair.
I like how Luke kind of looks over like, yeah, I'm getting one of those medals too.
Yeah, right?
Creepio's all shiny.
Yep, all that metallized. Except for the one silver leg, for some reason. You ever notice that? His right leg is silver.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
From the knee down.
It's like his red arm. I'm sorry, wait, what? No.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
But it's not so light that it looks silver.
Yeah, exactly. So Tim Hayes says, I don't know how you managed to find such a clear-looking print of Star Wars. It looks so awesome on my PC. Okay, so full disclosure, this is actually the Harmy despecialized edition. I do have a rip of the Laserdisc, but then when I realized I also had the Harmy despecialized version, I was like, well, it's so clear, and it's basically perfect. It is as close as you can get to a restored as if it was when you originally went to see it at the theaters. That's why it's I showed this version in particular. So there you go.
Music by John Williams.
Yeah, that man might have a pretty good career ahead of him.
Yes.
Extra, who's got one.
So I
beautiful
suspect Sir
model.
Torn is reflecting that any of us who played X-Wing, we kind of know how those ships handled, and the X-Wings were much faster than the Y-Wings.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to get away from something fast, you don't want to be in a Y-Wing, that's for sure.
A Y-Wing is like the A-10.
Yes,
It's tougher.
it's a bomber.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also got better shielding.
Right.
So you could take a lot more damage, but yeah, it was not maneuverable, not very maneuverable, and it did not move fast, that's for sure. R2 didn't get a medal. Well, they didn't have ribbons big enough to go around that dome of his.
They didn't give any C-3PO.
Yeah,
either.
3PO didn't get one either.
What did R2 do? He just got shot.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's face it, he was pretty heroic in his way. Yeah, no, this wasn't the Laserdisc rip. And the way that you know is because the only difference is the colors are less saturated and it's a little fuzzy around the edges. That's the only difference. Honestly, it's the only difference. This is just a little bit clearer and a little bit sharper.
I know why 3PO had the silver leg now. They took his leg and the other leg and they melted it down to make the metals out of.
Oh, that would be terrible.
That's
right?
my theory, okay? That's my Star Wars.
We need the gold for the medals, so that's why they gave him a silver leg as a
You get the
replacement.
silver
There
leg,
you go.
We get your replacement on, okay?
Yes, Chris, this was the Harmy version. Yes, it was.
Making films sound better Dolby system. What is that?
Yeah. We did we talk about Dolby and the sound engineering when we did the good old days about the Blinded Me with Science?
I think so.
I mean, if we talked about it, I would have definitely brought up the whole Dolby sound thing. Yeah.
Thomas Dolby.
Yep. Copyright 1977.
Woo!
Little Troy was 6 years old at the time.
Despecialized edition.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep. Harmy.
The one I have has Pugo's name on it.
Gotcha. Yeah. There is like I said, there's another version out there, and I don't remember. I think it's called Addywan. Addywan did a version. It's kind of a specialized edition. So like, there's little things, right? Like in the scene where Leia is in the cell block, and Vader has that torture droid come in. When it zooms in on the droid, they take off because it's a hypodermic needle, and on the side of the cylinder you can see the graduated numbers. Well, that's been taken out and they've put in Aurebesh on it, and on the needle there's a little lightning effect on it. It's just a little detail that this Addywan decided to throw in. It was just kind of neat. That's the kind of special edition I like. If you're going to make a change to it, do something like that. Don't throw Jabba in or a whole new scene or something like that.
Star Wars debuted Wednesday, May 25th, 1977, in fewer than 32 theaters, 8 more on Thursday and Friday.
Yep. And then, like I said, it had legs, so it was big that summer. So it's, in full disclosure, I did not see it until that summer. But by then, there was enough buzz about it that everyone was excited. It was the must-see summer film. And that's the other thing. The idea of releasing films in the summertime for big summer blockbusters, so to speak, Star Wars kind of started that. And it wasn't really released as a summer film. It was released in May, so you could say it was like a late spring film. But because it became so popular, it became the summer film. So there you go. So some good memories for you guys?
Oh yeah.
I mean, this was like I had always said. This was the before the how do I shrink this down so that I can? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm getting used to a new computer setup here, so you guys gotta bear with me a little bit. But
You're talking to a strange computer.
yeah, it is. But this was like I said, I wasn't joking around when I said this was before they had called it episode 4. Despite what George says, and yes, he did say this was meant to be the middle part of 3 trilogies. So technically, in his mind, he was thinking of it as episode 4, but that's not how it was introduced, because if it had, people would have been very confused. Yeah, wait, let me bring Al back in. He kind of dropped out.
I was going to say, what happened now?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
It wasn't me. Wasn't my fault, I promise you. But welcome back. Yeah, so there was no concept of an episode 4, at least as far as the fans knew, until, Empire Strikes Back came out and they had re-released Star Wars. Because, again, you would not have had an opportunity to see Star Wars before the sequel. So they re-released it in theaters, and then they released Empire again. And it was with this THX re-release of Star Wars that it had the episode 4, to set you up for episode 5. And that had people thinking, wait a minute, this was the first movie, right? But all the super fans that had read the Bantha tracks and the interviews with George Lucas and everything, we all knew why it was episode 4. That was old hat. We didn't need to see it in the opening crawl to know that this was the first in the second trilogy. And the first one didn't exist yet. We were looking forward to that, though. So there you go. Good. Good.
Took a while to get it.
Well, and it took a long time to get these movies out. Like I always said, in that in-between time, we didn't know for sure Empire was coming. I mean, as kids, we didn't know. The adults all kind of were like, oh, they're making too damn much money on this. There's got to be a follow-up. There's got to be something more coming. And sure enough it was. But Chris is saying, I saw it like 10 times in the theater between 77 and 79. It kept getting re-released. Yeah. And that was kind of unheard of. It happened, sure. We got re-releases of films, especially the bigger ones, especially the big Academy Award winners sometimes got re-released. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, once you saw it, you'd wait for the Sunday night movie,
Sunday night movie.
And then it usually had some edits to, accommodate the commercials.
I remember when they finally, I remember the first showing of Star Wars on broadcast television.
Yep.
It was a Sunday night, and I was in college.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was a great time. Some great little fuzzy memories for me.
I was reading something interesting. It's like Lucas himself. This is Wikipedia, so grain of salt. Lucas himself was not able to predict how successful Star Wars would be. He visited the set of Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Lucas was sure Close Encounters would outperform the yet to be released Star Wars at the box office. Spielberg disagreed and believed Star Wars would be a bigger hit. So Lucas proposed they trade 2.5% of the profit of each other's film, and Spielberg took the trade and still receives 2.5% of
that's nice
Star Wars profits.
That is nice. That is nice. Yeah. Someone on a stream that I was on earlier this week was talking about, I think it was Sir Alec Guinness, who got a percentage of, I don't remember if he got a percentage of the box office as well, but he definitely got a percentage of the marketing, so like the toys and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He made out big. And the person that was sharing it was saying something to the effect of, that was, some very shrewd marketing. And I'm like, actually, I think in retrospect, he didn't see it that way. He thought it was a concession that he was making because, he was probably trying to get a higher front end deal, and he was offered this, and he ended up taking it because he didn't think he was going to get anything else. And it was just one of those lucky gambles, Someone gives you a lottery ticket, and you're like, oh, that's wonderful, whatever. And then you end up winning the lottery, and you're like, holy crap! That didn't make you clever and smart. It just made you damn lucky. Yeah. I think that's how Alec Guinness, I think, saw it.
Yeah, he's at the time. Let's see. Guinness was one of the few cast members who believed the film would be successful. Negotiated a deal of 2.25% of the 1/5 gross royalties paid to Lucas. Made him quite wealthy in his later life.
Whatever the case was, it was a good deal for him. At least that's definitely how it turned out. One of the visual effects supervisors of Star Wars starred in one of the worst movies I've ever seen. He played a 40-year-old 20-something college student in Ring of Terror. Wow, I never even heard of that, but that's very interesting.
Circus Ring or something?
Yeah, and Deleted Scenes is already letting us know about Unscripted, episode 15, Random Acts of Podcasting on Sunday night at 8. I'm going to keep that up because tomorrow night on this girl's, well, she's actually sitting directly across from me, but you see her sitting next to me. Tomorrow night, Netters Network Retro Cinema,
Boxing Helena. A Jennifer Lynch film.
Starring the very, very lovely Sherilyn Fenn.
Sounds like a pugilistic classic.
It's a classic in some way, shape, or form. Have you ever seen it, Al?
I have not. Looking forward to it.
I thought for sure this is one you had not only seen, but like rewound the tape and wore it out in a few places.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, you should. You absolutely should.
Sherilyn Fenn is definitely
yes,
not ugly.
she is very, very soft on the eyes, and man, just a wonderful person to meet. I mean, I've had several opportunities to chat with her, and she's just the sweetest thing. She really, really is. So that's tomorrow night. Then, of course, Unscripted with Deleted Scenes, Sunday at 8 Eastern. That's 7 Central. He is the official lead-in to Geeky Geezers. And tell us about Geeky Geezers, Aged Boomer.
Well, we'll be talking about stuff leaving streaming, like Disney Plus is removing a lot of their shows, which I found interesting, including Willow. Willow is off there now.
There's Forbes, I think it's Forbes, talking about the fact, you know which one I'm talking about, Big Al?
Oh, yeah.
That roasts it. It says, better watch it. You have a couple weeks left before it's gone forever. They're burying this turd. They don't say it that way, but the article is definitely implying that.
No physical media available for that, though.
Nope, you're probably not going to. This is going to become like the holiday special as far as Lucasfilm is concerned. It's a dumpster fire. So that sequel, that season 2, don't hold your breath for that one. Definitely don't.
I'm sure tribute to Tina Turner.
Yes, she is definitely on the.
Ray Stevenson too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll definitely be talking about that tomorrow night. We'll have to come up with something good for good old days, because that's some real downer type stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But so that's Sunday night. Are we aware of any Memorial Day streams going out that we should be talking about?
Not that I know of.
no Batman show or anything like that, guys?
Not that I know of. I know. Yeah, go ahead.
I know deleted scenes is with Jedi Bill. We're going to be watching Green Berets. I think on Sunday.
Well, I'm counting on you, deleted scenes, to drop that link then. Or, I guess Jedi Bill could, I suppose. I mean, either way. But, yeah, let us know about that. That's, by all means, make sure that, yeah. And if I didn't say hi to you earlier on, DJ Ronnie G, that's why I maintain my own library, own physical media. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. If it's not available in some purchasable, licensed physical media, you can make your own. Make it, keep it, hold on to it offline so they can never take it away from you. Absolutely. That is the key. So, do you guys know about Wednesday Soundtracks with Birdman? Anything?
No, but Tuesday we're going to be doing... Tuesday, Mr. Matchstick.
What's going on Mr. Matchstick's channel on Tuesday?
We're doing a rewatch of Char's Counterattack from Mobile Suit Gundam, so... Yeah, that'll be 8:30 Eastern Standard, 7:30 Central Standard.
So Agent Boomer will definitely be on Mr. Matchstick's channel. And
probably drop the link to that shit.
I was meaning to mention this to you, Boomer. Whenever you're going to be on someone else's channel, that's what you should use your community tab for. Share that out there.
You're right.
Your followers know where to find you throughout the week. So do that for Tuesday. Do that for Wednesday if you're on Soundtracks with Birdman. It's definitely a thing.
Right.
Wednesday Soundtracks with Birdman. I know they're watching The Living Daylights. Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, that was the one Timothy Dalton film that I did actually see. That was I'm not a Timothy Dalton fan, but I did like The Living Daylights. There was a comic tie-in at the time that had me kind of fired up about it, but I was like, nah, it's not Pierce Brosnan. So, I kind of came back for Pierce Brosnan. Although, I didn't feel like they're as good as I was expecting a Pierce Brosnan film to be, but that's not his fault. Yes, so all of this, it's not as good as what I grew up with. I was doing this way back then, too. So, I was a geezer before my time. So that's what you guys are doing on Wednesday. Thursday on these are there and over there. Netter on Netter's Network. What are we watching on Thursday?
On Thursday Things, my special guest will be Adega Outlaw.
Adega Outlaw.
And one special person,
if you tune in live,
will win one of Adega's books. I believe it's Blood Witch, which I'm in the middle of reading, and it's fantastic. So you want to tune in for that.
So you know what? Make sure. Look, we say it every stream. Make sure you're subscribed to Deleted Scenes. He is the keeper of everything that's going on throughout the week. If you follow him, you will always know what all the rest of us are doing, especially him on his channel. So make sure you do that.
In fact, subscribe to everybody in the chat, everybody on the
panel.
panel.
He's been dropping those links. He's not doing it just because he wants to have something to do. Please make sure you subscribe to all the people in our community. If you like my channel and you're here and you're watching movies with me, or you're here to hear the interviews or whatever, you'll probably like these other channels because I do. So, absolutely.
And we all sub back. So you sub to us, we sub back.
That's true.
Together we grow.
Absolutely. So that's what community is all about. So that brings us around to next Friday. And guys, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next Friday. I'm in that slump where I haven't decided what I want to do for next week. So if you guys have suggestions, drop a comment, shoot me a DM, let me know.
Same for me for Thursday Things. I'm running out of guests. So, DM me on Twitter and let me know if you're interested in being a guest on my channel.
probably should. We haven't had Big Al on Thursday, have we? Be about time to get him in there.
Yeah, Big Al. If you're
Is that
interested.
okay? Thursday's good for you, Al?
This Thursday?
No.
Any Thursdays. Our Thursdays.
I'm
Oh,
booked
yeah.
up till.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. When am I booked up to? I am booked.
I
up
meant
to-
Thursdays plural. Are they good for you?
Yeah, I'm booked up to the end of June.
Plug me in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm booked up
So
to the end of June.
maybe in July sometimes.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, good.
I know I'm going to be doing a book study this summer. I'm not sure what nights it's on yet. So.
Okay.
But I'm shooting for Tuesdays.
Okay. So Netter will DM you about an upcoming July Thursday. So, but yeah, and if you have a channel that you looking to hawk and let people know about, definitely let Netter know. She will get you on and we'll see if we can't share it out and make you a part of the community. That's what it really is about. It's about building the community, just one channel at a time. So there we go. And you know what? Let's go a week and a day. So a week from tomorrow, Big Al, what's the watch party on Big Al Films with Friends?
Films with Friends. It is June, and it is James Garner June. We're going to be starting with Support Your Local Sheriff.
Yeah,
comedy western that I really love.
This is one of those movies that I know I saw, but man, I saw him when I was a kid, and my memory is really, really dim. So
James Garner, isn't it?
Yep. We will treat it as though I haven't seen it, like it's a first time, and see how much of it comes back to me. That's how we'll look at it. But Age of Boomer dropped the link for Mr. Matchstick stream on Tuesday, so there we go. And DJ Ronnie G says, I'm running an astronomy stream right now and will be playing video games shortly.
Cool.
Will provide stream link to all who ask. So what I would recommend is I'm guessing that Deleted Scenes probably dropped the link to Ronnie's channel, but if he would do that again, just go over there and subscribe to his channel, and you will see what streams. You go to that, where it says live, you'll see the upcoming live stream that he's going to be doing, and there you go. Make sure you're subscribed. In fact, what I will do is because it's my channel and I can do this, I can click on the drop down and I can go to his channel, and I am going to, I'm already subscribed. But what I have not done is hit the notification bell. So now I've got that notification bell, and I now have his live stream open. It's silent. I can't hear it right now, but as soon as I'm done, I will turn on the volume and I will say hi to you over there, DJ Ronnie G. So I would request, guys, that if you're not going to sleep because you got to work, Boomer.
Oh yeah.
The rest of y'all go over there and do a raid for me, and just say hi to Ronnie G. Say it's a last call raid over there, okay? And hit that like button and hang out in the chat, okay? That's what we're going to be doing now. So, last words. I'm going to start with Boomer, just because I know you got to go, and if you want to feel like you drop out, you can drop out.
Sure, I'll drop out after my final statement.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you don't have to stick around in the green room.
No, I'm just saying, classic movie. I wish that magic would come back someday, and maybe it will when Disney sells Lucasfilm. Sorry, but no, let's not.
Or gets their heads out of their collective asses. Yeah, absolutely.
Lot of good memories though with this movie, and a classic childhood movie along with many others, and it still holds up even after all this time.
It does.
It does not disappoint.
Good movies are timeless. Yeah, they're not. You don't have to make movies for modern audiences. If you make a good enough movie, it's good for all audiences for all time. Yeah.
All right, Al, you have again happy birthday. And,
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Yep.
you're welcome.
Thanks, and yeah, have a good day at work tomorrow.
Man.
We all super appreciate people like yourselves that are civil servants that gotta work through a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to work on Monday, right?
No.
You're closed on Monday.
So thank you everybody, and good night, everybody. Good night, Netter.
Take care, Big
Night,
Al.
Boomer.
I mean, take care. Guy was about to go to Big Al, so get out of here, Greedo.
Agent Al and Big Boomer.
I wanted to say happy birthday again, Big Al. Any last words you want to share with the chat there?
I appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for all the birthday wishes I got, and thank you for inviting me to watch this.
Thanks for coming hanging out with us. Yeah, it was a good fit.
This was one of the most influential aspects of my life was this film, and it is always good to revisit it in the form in which it originally was.
Right.
It has always been a special edition. It needed no further
It
work.
didn't need to be specialized. Exactly.
No,
I agree.
It's always been special.
I agree with you. And Netter, want to take us out?
Well, first I want to say that I hope everyone has a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And just make sure you stay safe, because I know people do stupid stuff on holidays. There's always extra drinking and stuff like that.
True.
So
Be careful.
just be careful, when you're on the road because of the stupid people that drink and drive.
It does happen, yeah.
But aside from that, you know what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well, good, and fun. But it is so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat.
Yep.
You're dropping your comments, your questions, your trivia. You're just being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all just hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company, having a great time.
Yep.
And you're not just our friends. We think of you as family.
Yep.
And we love you guys. And we really do appreciate you being here and spending this time with us. You've taken time out of your day to be here with us now. You don't know how much that means to all of us. So thank you.
Exactly. I super appreciate every single one of you. I hope that if you were new here tonight, I earned your subscription. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the stream tonight. If you really want to encourage me too, come on back later on, maybe tomorrow or something. Drop a chat and let the people in the future know how much you enjoyed hanging out here, because that kind of stuff helps the algorithm too. I would appreciate it if now you guys, as you leave, would head on over to DJ Ronnie G's. I see him; he's already on his stream. I see him, on the bottom of his screen. He's got, I don't know what he's got going on because I can't hear it yet. I'll be over there and saying hi to all of you guys over there. Okay. So thanks everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I hope to see you on the next one.
Happy birthday, Al.
Happy birthday, Al. Bye-bye.
Thank you. The force will be.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.